Good morning, everybody. Can't believe it's August, dog days. Everybody's complaining about the heat. I love it. And today I'm very happy. One of my favorite people, maybe a chef or restaurateur, but people in the world is Alex Seidel. How many years? I don't know. He was a baby. And he is here today with Mercantile Chook chicken and to tell us a little bit about the food bank of the Rockies event Gather Sow. Good morning, Alex.
Good morning, Gabby. How are you?
You were a baby.
I know I don't feel that way these days.
Oh, yeah. Let me
Sitting
tell
here, my back hurts, my feet hurt.
you. Okay, well, you want to give a brief history of Alex?
Sure, I could take a stab at that. I'll make it real brief though.
Okay,
I grew up in Wisconsin. Gabby, that's the food mecca of the world, right? It's the center of the universe.
they have cheese.
Within Wisconsin. So from there, I played college soccer. Went to the university, but in my off times, I was cooking through college and started in kitchens when I was 14 years old, as soon as I could get a work permit. And here we are 37, 38 years later and still working in restaurants.
And doing a
Um,
job.
Thank
So
you, thank you. Yeah, no,
it's
it's certainly been a difficult 5 years or so, but it's I'm very thankful that I've been able to work with great people and continue doing what I love.
you work with great people. You are a great people. You are one of the chefs. Well, you were always wonderful, even when some others weren't. But you've always been fabulous to everybody who works with you, too.
Thank you, Gabby. Thank
You
you.
encourage everybody so much. But you own fruition and long history.
Yeah, no, I mean we started Fruition a little over 18 years ago. My son was just 2 months old, and now he's getting ready to go to CU on Monday and move into his dorm. So that's the track record.
I watched that little kid grow up. He
Yep.
looked just like you, and your little girl looks just like Mel. Wow. Okay, now what's happening now? You want to tell me your
Uh, I did close Fruition in January, as you know. Um, I think between Fruition, Mercantile at the airport, the three Chooks, and I still have my commissary too, Food Mill, that we do all the viennoiserie and baked goods for the restaurants.
oh wow.
I think in getting to that point and all the complications that were presented during COVID, I really got really far from what I love to do, and that's being in the kitchen and cooking and mentoring. And I'm right before we got on this call, I'm still dealing with paperwork from the city, and this is delinquent, and this wasn't. It's like I can't stay ahead in that part of the ball game.
Oh,
That's
wait,
not my forte.
I don't know that it's your forte, but I think the restaurant business has become so hard for all of them. I don't think, I think people have an idea, but they
Yeah.
have no idea of what a struggle it is with the city, with labor, with their demands. It's impossible.
Well, Gabby, I used to wake up and my wife and her friends were so enamored with me being a chef but more so than that, being able to do what I love to do,
Right.
and so many people have a job. And I
Yes.
never considered being in the restaurant business a job. I always just considered it something where I was learning, something where I was inspired by others, something where I got to create. Um, and then, these last 5 years, quite honestly, it just hasn't been fun. And it
I,
has been a job.
you all, and I think most people know, you chefs, the restaurants are my life. I don't have money. I don't own a restaurant, but I have watched you, all of you, struggle so with not having fun anymore
Mhm.
because it's just hard.
Mhm.
The glamour's gone.
That's why we look forward to events like Food Bank of the Rockies, I mean, because that is fun still. Being able to get together with
Thank
people
God
who
you do.
inspire people from the community and cooking for a great cause. And, it doesn't revolve around a P&L when you're cooking for that event, right? It just revolves around community.
Well, and if we're starting there instead of ending there, you all, the chefs, I have never met a group. And I think Colorado chefs really are nice to each other as well.
Yeah.
You all come together, and I mean, we have appetizer chefs, but I think there's 8 of those, and a 4-course sit down dinner. And everybody works together,
Mhm.
and it is just a pleasure. And for anybody watching this, it's at the Denver Botanic Gardens on September 18th, and it's $250 for a ticket for the most, well, it's the best night of the year. Food Bank is in dire straits, and
Yeah.
tickets will go on sale next week. You know, they've lost their funding. They're not feeding kids anymore. There's no after school programs, there's no senior programs. They've taken grants away. I mean, I don't know how they expect the world to exist, but
Well, I don't know how many years exactly I've been doing this event with you, but I think it's probably been
it's,
at least 10 years.
oh, yeah.
And when you sent the email with the lineup of chefs, I was blown away. It is just probably the best lineup you've ever had.
And you know what? Every chef, oh, of course we'll do it. And I keep thinking, well, they're not going to do this year. You know, who can? Head chef Alex Seidel. We have Daniel Asher. We have Roland Grill. We have Johnny Curiel, who's won every award with Alma and all that. David Rodriguez. I can't even begin to name them all. Keegan Gerhardt for dessert. We even have Reunion Bread, who makes bread for 300 of us. So it goes on and on. But let's talk about Alex Seidel. And you want to start with Mercantile Trip? Where do you want to start?
Yeah, so Mercantile, well, in this past year, I've gone through a lot of change. Um, but it's also been developing for the last several years. I sold my farm in early
I
2020.
found old pictures of it.
Yeah, yeah. So, and I kind of knew that I'll be honest, it was a big struggle downtown during COVID, and Mercantile was losing a lot of money, a lot more money than I could have afforded to lose. Um, so it was pretty imperative that I find a resolution or try to resolve that issue. And I had some really, really good conversations few years ago with Walter Eisenberg, who you know,
Great guy.
and just kind of shared some of the challenges that I was having. And he was a big fan, is a big fan of Mercantile, and a lot of his team we would see often down there, and him and his wife would come in for dinner. And so I knew he was a fan from a distance. But once we had a chance to have a conversation and talk about the future of Mercantile, it really started about like, what does the future of downtown look like? Um, and he has been such a huge investor into our downtown and making Denver the city it is. And what a person to be able to align with in help creating what the future of downtown and the future of Mercantile looks like. So, August last year in 2024, we became partners, and they took the majority share of Mercantile. A lot of people think that I sold it to them and that I was no longer a part of Mercantile, but I'm there still 3, 4 days a week, if not 5 days a week, working with the chef team, We've got a great chef in Alex Grenier down there. His name is Alex, so don't get confused with Alex Seidel, but we like to call it Alex squared for anybody who comes into our path. But a great young chef who's doing really amazing. He loves telling stories through food. He's a super hard worker. He's intelligent. He's humble. And he just wants to perfect his craft. And if I have an opportunity to be a small part of that and him continuing to grow, that's what really fills my bucket these days.
Well, and I met him once, and he was just delightful, a young man. And all I read you, my friends' reports, is not only mine, but friends saying the new Mercantile has some of the most, I mean, when somebody writes and says they ordered a second order of something, it was so good.
Yeah.
So, I
Well,
mean,
when you
that's,
shared that story, it kind of made my heart melt a little bit. I mean, it
I
hasn't
was
been easy
reading
down
it
at
to you from
Mercantile.
my email.
The first one to admit that, during COVID, we lost our way a little bit. We went from 110 employees pre-COVID to six. And when you lose for 100, well, almost 100% of your crew,
Yeah,
you lose a lot of talent, you lose a lot of years of experience, you lose that family feeling of togetherness and conquering new levels through in the culinary
and
industry.
that is so you, is you are family oriented.
And so, to be quite honest, that was really, really tough to rebuild during COVID. It was tough to find the right chef. It was tough to find the right front of the house team. Um,
Which
but
is,
I feel like in the last year, I made some good hires right before the Sage acquisition. Chef Alex has been with me now there for 2 years.
oh wow.
Um, and so we were able to put a couple key figures in place, and then Sage certainly came in and helped finish that off and has really continued to work on the education piece with our team and um, making sure that we're well trained. And Chef Alex has kept his pretty much his entire kitchen over the last 2 years, um, which that's kind of how it used to feel in our kitchens. Nobody really left. And to see that we have probably 80 to 90% of our team from 2 years ago, that's special to me because that gives you an opportunity to continue to teach, continue to inspire, and honestly get better. So
Good.
when your friend mentioned that he had one of the best meals this year at Mercantile, that
And
just
he's a special friend.
yeah. So
It's
that
the
really just
great foodie too.
that made me feel really good and just reinforced the fact that all the efforts we've been making are starting to pay off a little bit.
I would say that was what I call a rave review. And I read it to you straight
Yeah,
from my iPhone.
yeah, and pictures included.
I have everything. Yes. Well, Dave's a great guy. If he says that, it's so. And you do lunch and dinner.
We do lunch and dinner 6 days a week.
Oh, which day are you closed?
We are still not open on Sundays.
Okay.
We've been having a lot of conversation of bringing back brunch on the weekends. We used to do breakfast 7 days a week pre-COVID. Um, and we haven't had that breakfast component in a few years, but now we're talking about bringing back a brunch component on the weekends, which would ultimately open up Sundays for being open 7 days a week.
Okay. I nice for me, but I don't know about you.
Well,
And you do a casual lunch as well as a fancier sit down lunch.
yeah, I think when we look at our clientele and who's coming through the door for lunches, we wanted to try and find. I mean, Mercantile is such a large space, and before we did our huge remodel in January, we had our dining room and we had our market area.
Right.
So we completely revamped that market area. Um, there was a time when I had the farm and a lot of the products came from the farm, and without that, the market just didn't have the same feel and energy to me. So we needed to create more energy in that space. And we wanted to create more of a lounge, more of a cafe setting. So
which
people
I
could,
adore for lunch.
yeah. So we expanded the bar there, really opened that up. So now you can see the kitchen from the front door. Um, but that market side really became more of a cafe. And we have a little bit of a different menu on that side where you can still come in. If you're on a quick lunch, you can come in and have a sandwich, salad, still the same amazing seasonal ingredients. But then we also have a clientele that likes to cater to their friends or their business clients, or and might want to enjoy something that brings a little bit higher level of service and touch to the table. And we decided, let's try to create a little mini tasting menu. So we do two courses for $39, and it's elevated. We have a salmon entree on there
Yeah,
and
it was
nice
marvelous.
little chicken entree, and we still have some of the availability of sandwiches and salads that you can get in the cafe, but we've also added I guess I would say more refined dishes.
No, it was incredible. I
Yeah.
know. Okay, so if we leave there, total different concept.
Mhm. Yeah, it is. It is. And you're talking about Chook.
Yeah,
So I think you probably recall, but Fruition and Mercantile were places that as a kid I was not able to afford to go to eat. They you
I
put
think
in a
we
lot of
all
time with the quality of ingredients that you purchase and the level of labor that it takes to execute those menus. And it turns into a place that probably has a little bit of a higher dollar spend. Um, and that kind of always, I think when you're trying to become one of the best chefs you can be, that's kind of the things you're shooting for, right? The best quality food, the best quality ingredients, put on a plate creatively and technically. But somewhere we're missing touching a different group of consumer or clientele. And it was really important to me in order to feed people good food, we had to find a way to feed them more affordably. And we started Chook as a chicken rotisserie right over on Louisiana and Pearl in a small little space, and it's still my favorite space.
me too.
Um,
I go to
yeah, so
different ones, but that's my favorite.
yeah, so there's just something about that space. It has a lot of heart, and but now we have three locations of Chook, and we opened some of those still at the beginning and during COVID, when we thought that we had a different mindset of what our clientele looked like and what they wanted. And I think COVID changed a little bit of that. And now we are doing a lot more takeout. I would say 75 to 80% of our business now is takeout or
Because
third.
we eat at home and we grab food. We're not going to cook.
Exactly, exactly. So we want to embrace that. We want to be that option for people who have busy schedules, have kids in school doing sports. Everybody's running around, um, but also it's chicken, it's rotisserie chicken, and hopefully it's delicious enough that it appeals to everyone.
It's the hardest thing to make is good chicken. I hate to tell you.
It really is. It's
But
not
you
as
do
easy as it
chicken
seems.
and sides and sandwiches. And I have actually put together HOA parties here
Yeah.
for our group and with box lunches. And I have to say, if anybody's watching, the fans who are impossible to please adore it.
Yes. Well,
Let me tell you, they love to be impossible.
Well, the thing about the offerings at Chook is, of course, you have your rotisserie chicken, you have your chicken sandwiches, you have your salads with chicken, but there's a really good health component to the food. It's all clean, it's all natural. There's no preservatives in our food. It's made from scratch cooking,
Right.
and you can get a very healthy salad with beets and berries. Uh, you
Or
can get
mac and cheese.
a side of vegetables with a lemon tahina. But
Right.
you know what? It also appeals to people who love mac and cheese
Yeah.
and mashed potatoes and gravy. And so it's got a little bit of that kind of health side, but also a little bit of that, what is it? Familiarity, what feels comforting to people.
And today well, Dave, who is the guy we're talking about, gets takeout from Chook all the time. I get it less often than he, but a lot because it makes you happy. It's easier for me, and frankly, in the long run, cheaper if you live alone.
Sure.
A
Yeah.
meal or two, and you don't have to cook.
Yep.
And it's all really fresh and really good, and I couldn't do any better. And there's nothing better to me than a good sandwich or a
Well,
burger.
yeah, no doubt about it. And well, the fun thing is too, here we are 6, 7 years in, and I was just in the kitchen this week, and we're still continuing to work on new ideas and
Oh, good
uh,
for you.
new sides of vegetables and new sandwiches. And we've
Ooh,
introduced wraps, we've introduced chicken wings. We're
you're
currently
kidding
working on a chicken tender, which who doesn't love chicken tenders? um,
me.
that we're going to hand bread, and it's so
Now,
we're still evolving at Chook. We're not sitting on our laurels and just waiting for people to come in the door. We really want to go out there and make people happy.
uh, Alex, whatever you do, you've made people happy. To people who are watching, he has won every award there is to win. He's very modest. He's not going to tell you, and deservedly so, and graciously so. Nicer person. Well, I can't tell you, hold yours, never live. He's fabulous, but we are so out of time. Give people a way to get to Shook into Mercantile.
We would love to see you.
No, but give them an address or out.
Okay, so Mercantile is actually located downtown in Union Station at 1701 Wynkoop. We also have Mercantile in the airport on the A concourse right on top of the escalators,
I was
which
there.
is a great option when you're traveling. We do breakfast, lunch, and dinner there. A lot of the same dishes that you see on the Mercantile menu downtown are out on the menu at the airport. Um, Obviously, the airport has its own set of challenges where it can't be the exact same menu, and but we are seasonal there. I mean, how many airports change the menu multiple times a year? So we're pretty excited about that and bringing new things to our guests who are traveling, and so that's pretty exciting. Chook, there's 3 locations. There's one location on the corner of Pearl and Louisiana. There's one location on the corner of 8th and Birch, right off of 8th and Colorado. And then the third location, our newest location, is on the corner of University and Orchard. So we like the corner, I guess.
You'll corner the market that way. And if you're going to Mercantile downtown, I suggest you make a reservation.
Absolutely. It definitely
Sure.
helps.
You certainly don't need a reservation, but I'm sure you're accommodated, but it's fun to know there is a place for you. And I want everybody to like and subscribe to the Gabb with 2 B's / Gabby Gourmet on YouTube. On Instagram and Facebook, it's Gabby Gourmet. Gather and Sow, food for thought. You'll see Alex and all the other guys on September 18th, Denver Botanic Gardens. Go to the website foodbankoftherockies.org. Next week, you can buy tickets, $250. It's the best investment you're going to have for a wonderful night. And the nicest guy, the best chef, won it all and done it all, and a very special friend. You are a love, Alex. Thank you.
Thank you, Gabby. I really look forward to the 18th of September. I'm excited to get out there and cook with my friends, but more importantly, cook for the community. raise good dollars for Food Bank of the Rockies, because you know what? They're feeding people, and that's what we should be doing. That's what I've done my whole life, and
And
uh,
those people need it.
that is
Really.
an important organization that we have to make sure we continue to support.
I love you to death.
Love you too, Gab.
See you soon. Much love. Bye.
Bye.